May 12th, 2017. A normal Friday. The digital world was humming. Hospitals opened their doors, offices logged in, airports prepared for takeoff. And then, the world began to shut down. It started with a glitch, a single error message on a single PC, then another, and another. Soon, screens all over the world turned black. Files vanished, and a chilling message appeared in red.
Your files are encrypted. Pay $300 in Bitcoin.
This wasn't a handful of computers. It was a wave, a digital tsunami. It started in Europe, but by the time the sun set, it had washed over Asia, America, and Africa. Hospitals turned patients away. Ambulances were redirected. Railway stations collapsed into chaos as digital ticket systems failed. Corporations worth billions went dark. One single virus had infected more than 200,000 computers in 150 countries. And as governments scrambled and security experts worked around the clock, they all asked the same question: who was behind it? The sheer scale of the attack was unprecedented. This wasn't a crime for profit, it was a digital declaration of war. In China, gas stations and even police departments saw their files locked. In Russia, the Interior Ministry and railway systems were hit. The attack was so widespread, so indiscriminate, that it created an air of global panic. Experts at the FBI and other security agencies sat in war rooms, staring at maps that showed a digital infection spreading in real time. They knew they were racing against something new, a threat that didn't care about borders or political lines. It was simply designed to wreak havoc. This was no ordinary cyber attack. The virus had a name: WannaCry. It wasn't just ransomware that locked your files. It was a worm. Once it infected one machine, it spread on its own, leaping from system to system, country to country. It was fast, it was ruthless, it was unstoppable. At its heart was a stolen weapon, a digital exploit once created by the US National Security Agency, codename Eternal Blue. The NSA had kept it a secret, a tool to spy on rivals, but hackers had leaked it, and now the world was paying the price. This exploit gave the virus the key to any locked door, allowing it to bypass security and infect new machines silently. As the damage mounted, theories flew. Governments suspected Russia, others pointed to China. Some believed it was just criminals after a quick payday. But this was bigger than money. The ransom was small, a paltry sum for the scale of the damage. The impact was massive. It looked less like crime and more like sabotage. In Britain, the National Health Service was crippled. Doctors couldn't access patient records. In Germany, trains ground to a halt. In Spain, telecom giants were forced to shut down. In Russia, entire banks froze. The digital world was collapsing. And no one, not the FBI, not the top cybersecurity firms, knew how to stop it. In the heart of the virus, a mystery was buried. WannaCry didn't just spread, it searched for something. A specific, long and random domain name. If it found it, it would shut itself down. This was a classic kill switch, a common failsafe used by malware creators. It let them shut down their own creations if they got out of control. It was a failsafe, but this time it was an accident. The kill switch was there, but no one had activated it. It was still an open door, a single line of code, waiting to be used. The entire global storm depended on a single unregistered website. In the middle of the global chaos, one man sat at his desk in a small town in England. Marcus Hutchins, 22 years old, self-taught coder. He was a quiet figure, more comfortable online than in the real world, known only by his handle, Malware Tech. While the world panicked, Marcus did what he always did. He studied the code. He pulled the WannaCry virus apart piece by piece, trying to understand how it worked. And inside he noticed something strange. A domain name, long, random, unregistered. He'd seen this trick before in other malware, a way to trick security researchers. On a whim, on pure instinct, he registered it. A simple click, a small act, and in that moment, the world changed. Across the globe, the worm stopped spreading. What no one knew was that the hackers had built a kill switch, a built-in failsafe that would shut the worm down if the domain existed. They thought it would never be registered, but Marcus had found it, accidentally. And in doing so, he saved the world. Billions of dollars in damages were prevented, and millions of computers were saved. The world had a new hero, but what the public didn't know was that Marcus was terrified. He went from being a nameless, faceless researcher to the most talked about person in the world. He was hailed by top security firms and interviewed by reporters, but he was also a person with a hidden past, a past he never spoke about, one he thought he had left behind forever. But the FBI had been building a case against him for years, and his newfound fame simply put a spotlight on a secret that was about to be revealed. Marcus was not always a hero. As a teenager, he had wandered into the dark corners of the internet. Hacker forums, underground marketplaces, places where malware was currency. He was talented, brilliant, curious, and he built things, dangerous things. Among them, a banking Trojan called Kronos. It was a sophisticated piece of code, capable of stealing credentials, emptying bank accounts, and ruining lives. Marcus didn't profit from it, but others did. His code spread like a disease, infecting countless computers. And the FBI, tasked with protecting people from this exact kind of threat, took notice. They had been watching him for years. Even as the world celebrated him as a savior, his past was waiting to be exposed. The FBI's case was meticulous. They had chat logs, forum posts, and code samples dating back years. They knew his online handles and had traced his digital footprints. They were just waiting for the right moment to act. And as Marcus prepared to travel to Las Vegas for a major cybersecurity conference, they knew their chance had come. They couldn't risk him leaving the country. For the FBI, this wasn't about WannaCry. It was about justice for the victims of Kronos. The man the world called a hero was, in their eyes, a wanted criminal. July 2017, Las Vegas. Marcus traveled to DEF CON, one of the world's biggest hacker conferences. For the first time, he stepped into the spotlight. Hailed as the accidental hero, but at the airport, as he prepared to return home, the FBI was waiting. Agents approached him. He was arrested, charged with creating and distributing malware, from savior to suspect, in just months. For 2 years, Marcus fought his case. Supporters said he had redeemed himself, that his actions in saving millions should be a powerful defense. Prosecutors argued his past could not be ignored, that the crimes he committed were real, and they had real victims. In 2019, after a long legal battle, Marcus pleaded guilty to 2 charges related to his past actions. He admitted his crimes, but the judge, in a rare move, spared him prison. He acknowledged that while Marcus had done wrong, he had shown genuine remorse and had worked to use his skills for good. Instead, Marcus walked free. He returned to cybersecurity, this time as a protector, using his skills for defense, not destruction. But in a world run by machines, the next WannaCry may already be out there, waiting,